This video is sponsored by Ubisoft. Welcome back everybody, I'm Nick930, and to help celebrate the Assassin's Creed franchise turning 15, I've decided to join in on the festivities and cover an old favorite of mine from the series' early days, Assassin's Creed Revelations. AC Revelations first released in 2011, over a decade ago, for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the PC. It continues the story of the Italian master assassin Ezio Auditore, who sets off on a journey east to locate a long-lost assassin's library with keys hidden somewhere in Constantinople. Not only does Revelations mark the end of the widely popular Ezio storyline, but it also serves as a sort of symbolic end for this era of the series, as it was one of the last times we saw that classic Assassin's Creed gameplay style. So today, we're going to take a walk down memory lane and identify what makes Revelations so unique from the other entries in the series. But before we get started, I want to thank Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. If you want to give this or any other Assassin's Creed game a try, be sure to visit the link that I've provided in the description to the Assassin's Creed 15 website, where you'll find big discounts on Assassin's Creed games, and multiple chances to win unique prizes. Each week they'll be celebrating a different Assassin's Creed game. So, be sure to keep checking in for new discounts, quizzes, podcasts, and special merchandise, all celebrating the series' 15th anniversary. All of this will lead up to the big event in September, where Ubisoft plans to unveil the future of Assassin's Creed with their special event. You can find details on this and more in the description below. Alright, so let's kick things off by first looking at Revelations' unique setting. Revelations is an interesting entry to the Ezio trilogy, as it's the only entry to not actually take place in Ezio's homeland of Italy. It instead takes place in one of the most influential cities of the 16th century, Constantinople. This city offers some extraordinary architecture across its skyline, including the towering Galata Tower and the massive Hagia Sophia, all nestled between a vast network of interweaving street corners and structures, separated by distinctive districts. It's almost nothing like the design of the Italian cities offered previously, and so Ezio will have to make use of some new gear to aid in his navigation.
Ezio, where is your Hookblade?
My Hookblade?
The Hookblade was introduced in Revelations as a way to try and mix up the parkour systems that gamers had become all too familiar with over the course of the past 3 games. Gaps between buildings that would have otherwise been too far for Ezio to reach are now passable, as Ezio can reach an extra foot or so to grab an edge in front of him. Players can also use the hook to swing off of lanterns, leap up higher to grab otherwise out-of-reach handholds, and zipline down long cables, useful to get the drop on an unsuspecting sentry. The Hookblade can also be used for combat as well. Players can now trip enemies to allow for a deadly ground takedown, vault over guards that are blocking their path, or even grab onto nearby scaffolding and pull it down, killing anyone nearby and offering a window for escape. Bomb crafting is another major new feature introduced in Revelations. Instead of just picking up a stack of smoke bombs from a local vendor like before, players can now craft a wide range of different bomb types to suit their own personal playstyle. This is accomplished via a 3-tiered crafting system. Each bomb has 3 base ingredients, which can be mixed and matched to suit a different purpose. Using a sticky outer shell, for example, will allow your bomb to stick to surfaces, whereas other shells will allow the bomb to bounce first or explode directly on impact. By selecting a specific gunpowder type, players can directly modify the range of the explosive, useful for managing collateral damage for more precise devices. The final ingredient adjusts the bomb's effect. You can, for instance, have a standard shrapnel explosive to use as a lethal grenade, or you can make use of more unusual ingredients like datura for poison, phosphorus for a smoke cloud, or sulfur to create a loud diversionary device. You can even use lamb's blood, which will cover enemies caught within range and shock them into thinking that they've been critically injured. This was such a great gameplay feature, though it's also one that's easy to forget to use, as there's really little reason to deviate from things like smoke bombs and diversionary coin bombs if you're just aiming for a stealthy approach. Another big change to Revelations are the new Templar Dens. The dens were technically first introduced in Brotherhood, known then as Borgia Towers, and required players to take out key targets before securing a central tower. This is mostly the same case in Revelations, though the dens play a more dynamic role throughout the course of the game. As players spread their influence throughout the city, they'll earn notoriety, displayed near the health bar. But once this is filled completely, they then run the risk of having their previously captured assassins' dens attacked by a group of Templars, which will then initiate the new Tower Defense game mode. In this mode, players command a squadron of assassins on the nearby rooftops and attempt to repel the Templar attack. Players can use their morale to line the rooftop edges with various assassin types, and can similarly drop barricades and artillery volleys to directly impede the enemy's advance. It's a pretty big deviation from the standard gameplay loop, though it's also a great way to really expand on the whole Assassin's Brotherhood concept, while also offering a nice break from the core gameplay. Speaking of which, Revelation sees a slight expansion to the Brotherhood systems introduced in the previous game as well. In AC Brotherhood, players could recruit assassins to their cause and send them out on missions to defeat Templars around the world. Revelations does see the system return, but it bumps up the recruit's maximum rank to 15, and introduces new Master Assassin missions, which aims to expand on the leader's backstory a bit, while also fleshing them out more as actual characters, rather than just names on a list. It's a fun addition, especially for players that enjoyed the Brotherhood systems from before, though it's also mostly optional, and if a player wants, it can be skipped entirely. To help facilitate the growth of the player's Brotherhood, AC Revelations also does a much better job of incorporating recruitment into the open world gameplay. Dynamic side missions with potential assassin recruits can now be found more regularly, and offer more unique scenarios to fit in with the respective areas. Along with recruitment, players may also encounter new stalkers throughout Constantinople that will pursue the player and attempt to kill them when their back is turned. This particular mechanic doesn't get much use throughout the course of the game, though it's no doubt an expansion of the pickpocket systems incorporated before, which would subsequently return with the following game, Assassin's Creed 3. Overall, Assassin's Creed Revelations is an interesting addition to the AC franchise. It's not necessarily the most innovative entry, as the core gameplay, despite those few new features, still remains more or less the same. But it does at least retain that classic Assassin's Creed spirit. The ability to blend into crowds and stalk your targets from the rooftops is something that has slowly faded away from this property, as more action role-playing systems and exploration have taken priority. Revelations is also special for wrapping up the narrative thread of not just Ezio, but the original game's protagonist, Altair, providing a satisfying conclusion to the series' golden age. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy Assassin's Creed Revelations? Or is there another entry into the series that you enjoyed more? Let me know in the comments section. Also, I'd like to once again thank Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. If you haven't had a chance to play Revelations before and want to give it a try now, you can pick up the game for 67% off using the link that I provided in the description. They're also offering several other big discounts on AC games, along with quizzes, giveaways, podcasts, and other special deals to help celebrate the series' 15th anniversary. So don't forget to check it out each week leading up to the big reveal coming in September. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe for more content posted every week.